Alright, greetings and salutations. My name is Comic Fire, and let's discuss how things are going on the LP front, because things have changed. So, I started working on Soul Hackers 2 again, which, been promising that for about 2.5 years now. And it turns out that when you record an LP, or you record footage of anything 2.5 years ago and rewatch it later, it's a little weird to try to get back into the headspace you were when you were 2.5 years younger. Which is to say that Soul Hackers 2 has become a bit of a bear for me, in that it's, I don't want to say overwhelming, but it's definitely one that I'd rather push back, if you know what I'm saying. Like, comic, it's been 2.5 years. How can you push this back even further? And the answer is easily, because that's what I'm going to do. So in the meantime, I have resumed work on Devil Survivor 2, because that is one that I have been getting a lot of comments about lately. So, the way that I'm handling Devil Survivor 2 is that instead of doing with like a Soul Hackers 1 or 2, where I just recorded the video in its entirety, edited it down to a point that I was happy with, and then post-commentate over it, I'm going to do, I'm going to be a little more proactive with how Devil Survivor 2 is going to go. Instead of just jumping into it blind, my intention is to run through the entire video's worth of content. Like, I'll assume, like, oh yeah, I'm going to go from this point of the game to this point of the game, and run through it right before I record it, restart from where I was, and then record it from there, so all of the strategies are super fresh in my mind. I have given some legitimate thought to just, like, scrapping all of what I have with Soul Hackers 2 and just redoing it like that. But, that's annoying, because Soul Hackers 2, even without, like, having done any commentary or anything, that's still got, like, 50 hours of work put into it. That's playing through the entire game, then doing it again for all the New Game Plus stuff. I would really rather avoid putting 50 hours into this game that I've already put, like, 80 hours in? I've played Soul Hackers 2 more than people who probably, like, super love the game. I've grown on it, but, like, I don't know if I've got another 2 runs of the game in me, so what I'm going to do instead is to just use Devil Survivor 2 as a method to get back into the mind space of recording. Because, it's just been a long time. I haven't really recorded an LP proper since Final Fantasy Legend 2, and that was 1.5 years ago. So jumping really into something like that, probably not going to work. So I'm going to use Devil Survivor 2 as a method to work myself back into the mind space. Which is to say that at certain points, there may be episodes of Devil Survivor 2 and Soul Hackers 2 going live. Not at the same time, but like in the same upload, schedule. Like, I drop a Soul Hackers 2 episode on like a Thursday, and then hey, maybe Saturday's got Devil Survivor 2, or vice versa. So that's the plan with my solo work so far. That's going to, on the LP front, the 2 sequel games in the SMT wider universe will be the plan. On the group front, we're returning to Yokai Watch 3. We are still getting some schedules together. Not entirely sure if we're going to have everyone in every episode. Like, every episode's going to have me and Casey for sure. But as for, due to scheduling conflicts, we probably won't have Trev and Kish in the same episodes ever again. So, you know how things go with the constant need to work and survive and stuff. But we are going to work to have at least one or the other in as frequently as possible. In addition, this one's probably further up the pipe because I know people want Yokai Watch 3 more, so that is what I want to focus on, but I do really want to record Monster Hunter Stories with Casey and Kish. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. Work on that has not begun, we haven't started arranging schedules for that, but generally, when we can, we'll get as much as we can record. This is very much, as always, has been schedule reliant, so when things align, we will have content. When things don't align, we will not have content in that regard. Similar issue to Radiant Dawn, I have talked about this, that, like, the whole Path of Radiance, like, Sage Master 15 style, where we would have everyone just reading lines and whatnot. At least for Radiant Dawn, that doesn't interest me anymore. I don't know if you guys heard, like, in the last few episodes of Radiant Dawn, that, like, there's so many moving parts, so many different characters, we record so infrequently that it's kind of hard to keep track of everyone, so then everyone's voice just kind of gets forgotten. Like, we put something good into one episode, it never comes up again. And that's a lot to ask a bunch of people who, you know, are doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. I'm not talking about me. Like, I will go back and study things, but, like, old episodes to make sure I'm doing the voices right, but I can't, like, ask Kish to be like, oh yeah, remember this, that, and the other thing. No, that's ridiculous. So that doesn't really interest me anymore. So Radiant Dawn, I want to probably just either finish as a stream series, or maybe solo LP it. That one's still up in the air. There's a lot of things I want to do before Radiant Dawn. Unfortunately, people were right. That one absolutely did fall by the wayside. That one was me assuming that the magic would return, and quite frankly, we're in different headspaces than we were, you know, in the 2010s. And that doesn't really interest me anymore. So, plus in addition that, I'm sure I could, if I worked hard, I could get back to doing the same level of voice acting as I used to. But, there are certain voices that I either struggle with doing or just can't do anymore. Because, I am pretty sure that me straining my vocal cords that hard during, like, the Yokai Watch 2 LP and stuff in Path of Radiance, that I don't know if, like, I damaged my vocal cords or, like, I tired them out and my body's like, hey, stop, please, I beg of you. I don't know if that's a thing that actually happened. Like, I can talk normally. I'm sure if I strain myself, I can do voices just fine. But, like, it's going to take a bit of either work or build up for something that, like I said, honestly, not something I'm super... It's just not the content I want to create anymore. So, yeah, that's where that is. I do want to finish Radiant Dawn, maybe on stream, maybe it's a solo LP, like I said. But doing the voices, I just don't know. So, that's where things are on the LP fronts. So, if you want to skip to the end, I'll put a little timestamp at the beginning. If you just want the TLDR comic, please shut up. So, TLDR, Devil Survivor 2 will be returning soon-ish. Soul Hackers 2 is in a little bit of a limbo state until I feel more confident in getting back to all the old footage and being able to do the stuff just right the way I want to do it. Yokai Watch 3 is back in production. Monster Hunter Stories is something that is in pre-production. And Radiant Dawn is to be made solo. So, thank you so very much for listening. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the front lines of Devil Survivor... I don't know, man. I didn't script this out. This is all off the cuff. I'm sorry. Love you guys.